Today is Ronald Reagan's birthday, and you, my audience, need to know that.
Illuminati is a thing you need to watch out for. They want to depopulate and slave us so much more. World domination, I'll get into that later. I'm hardcore, fierce and sexy. You're just a hater. You deserve the ridicule because you're an absolute zero. I'm the keeper of the chalice, a rock and roll hero. I'm not an idiot nobody listens to, because I'm not a failure in life like you. Let's talk about Bill Gates and the mark of the beast, and the orgies in the streets at the Catholic feasts, and Bill and Hillary's human trafficking ring, and George Soros got the money to pay for everything. Socialism is for losers, working for the devil. Chumps that can't fight, they ain't on my level. It takes an evil one to try to debunk a doubter, so I'd rather die than stop talking about it. Watch out, watch out, watch out, watch out. Watch out for the Illuminati. Watch out, watch out, watch out, watch out. Watch out for the Illuminati. Watch out, watch out, watch out, watch out. Watch out for the Illuminati. Watch out for the Illuminati.
Today is the day that the entire nation, anybody that loves America and humanity at least, pays homage to the late, great Ronald Reagan, 40th President of the United States. He was born in Illinois. A lot of people think California because he eventually became the governor of California, but he was actually born in Illinois and then set out west and became a cowboy, at least in the movies. And he was a pretty good actor. Yeah, he wasn't what today's standards would consider an A-list actor, but he was a pretty good actor. I thought he's better than any actor that is outspoken offset against Donald Trump today. That's a fact. And he did some great movies like Bedtime for Bonzo and Angels Clean Their Faces. And he started out off as a Democrat, but because of the rise of communism and his deep disdain for communism, rightfully so, he became a Republican. He was a president of the Screen Actors Guild, and there was one person right there that McCarthy knew wasn't a damn communist, that's for sure. Eventually he became governor of California and was probably the best governor of that state in its entire history. And the only one coming close was probably Schwarzenegger. Jerry Brown was all right his first go around, but then he just turned into a radical old man, and they kept electing him. I think he was like a 3-time governor, Jerry Brown. I got to look that up. He's so old he ran for president in 1980, and he's still around. Ronald Reagan ran for president in 1980. First he ran against Ford, and a lot of people were telling him that Ford was tougher than him because he played football, and Reagan's reply was, well, sure, I played football too, but when I played, I wore a helmet. Boy, the Reagan wit was off the chain. Here's a story where he's telling his audience this story about a guy standing in front of the Democratic National Convention with these newborn kittens trying to sell them. Buy a Democrat kitten, buy a Democrat kitten, buy a Democrat kitten. About a week or two later comes the Republican National Convention. And there he is in front of the building. Buy a Republican kitten, buy a Republican kitten, buy a Republican kitten. And somebody spotted him that remembered him from the Democratic Convention. He asked, weren't these Democrat kittens? And he goes, yes, they were, but they've opened their eyes since. The Reagan wit, I tell you. So He went on to run for president in 1980 against an overwhelmed Jimmy Carter. We had gas prices going up, inflation overall going up, crime running rampant because of the Democrats, dates back even then, and of course the Iran hostage crisis. Soon as Ronald Reagan became president, the hostages were released. All of a sudden, boom, in a plane to Germany, where another plane picked them up and brought them back to the States. Colonel Muammar Gaddafi of Libya tried testing the Reagan administration, but we had a strong military and a strong air force that took their planes down each and every time they tested our military. Yes, I say our military because I'm an American. And if we're American, we're supposed to be on the same team. No? Anyway. In Reagan's second term, he was often blamed for certain things like the AIDS epidemic, El Salvador, which had started in his first term, and Iran-Contra. When in reality, that was all George H.W. Bush. Back then, only known as George Bush because nobody knew about his son. Nobody gave a shit about his son, who would eventually become president himself and be a two-term lousy president. But yeah, Bush and company undermined certain parts of the Reagan administration. So anything that the left often blames Reagan for, they're placing blame on the wrong person with the R next to their name. That blame should go to Bush and company because there are things that are done behind the scenes, often without the president not even knowing. If you could say this could be done to the Kennedy administration, then it's only fair to say it's possible that this could have been done to the Reagan administration. And still in all, we had a strong economy and a strong military. Anybody who was president at the time when there was a strong economy and a strong military usually gets the credit for that. Or at least they are credited for having a good team around them that could pull that off. Like with Clinton, we did have a strong economy and strong military while Clinton was president, but we can't credit Clinton for that. He had a good team around him that was able to prop up that facade and make him look good. Whereas Reagan was the man responsible for the strong military and strong economy we had in the 80s. He ran for re-election, getting back to the Reagan wit. And they had the goal to put up the vice president of Jimmy Carter against Ronald Reagan. And they were talking about age, because at the time Reagan was the oldest president to serve in those times. So Reagan told a debate moderator, "I will not let my opponent's youth and inexperience become a key issue in these debates." And Mondale didn't get evil. Mondale didn't get venomous about it. He laughed along with Reagan. And then lost by a bigger landslide than Carter, which was the American people sending a big message to the Democrats: we're good. We don't want you. And, I kind of feel bad for Mondale, but, we were doing fine with Reagan. Reagan was a man for all the American people. He wasn't some elitist racist that was exclusive to only this cabal of people that was or his close buddies or whatever. That's somebody like George W. Bush, Dick Cheney, plenty of the Democrats, John Kerry, Barack Obama, of course, Joe Biden and his clan. But Reagan wasn't like that. Reagan was a firm but fair president. And a lot of people would argue that he is the greatest president of their lifetime. I say that myself at the moment. But who's to say, by 2028, when Donald Trump is endorsing the next Republican candidate to fill his shoes, he may well, by then, have surpassed Ronald Reagan as the greatest president in my lifetime. It's possible. He's got a great shot at it. He's already the second best president in my lifetime. And the moral to all of this on Ronald Reagan's birthday is to understand when you're voting for a president, vote for the one that's going to give us a strong military, a good economy, and in these times, strong borders. Once you have those three issues covered, the rest is ancillary. The rest is auxiliary. The rest is all extra bells and whistles. Wouldn't it be nice if you could add this to it? Wouldn't it be nice if you could add that to it? It's like a house. You want a roof that doesn't leak and plumbing and electricity that works. Then you can worry about everything else in between. Same thing here. Strong military, good economy, strong borders. Worry about everything else in between thereafter. And don't let the communists invade, and don't let them seep in like slithering creatures. Don't let them sneak in through the back door, so to speak. Any rise to communism, whether it's brazen or on the low, is wrong. Well over 100 examples, close to 200 examples, nations that rose and fell because they've adopted communism. While this one nation going on 149 years. No, I'm sorry, 249 years. 249 years, still going strong, written by a bunch of guys with powdered wigs hundreds of years ago. And it's still going strong. Outlasting all these communist nations. Close to 200 communist nations. The United States has outlived and outlasted them. Why? Because communism sucks. Reagan knew that. In Reagan's lifetime, the Soviet Union fell. Respect God. Watch out for the Illuminati. Happy birthday in holy heaven, where I know Ronald Reagan is, to Ronald Reagan. Stay strong, keep kicking that sling. It's your boy in the building, hip-hop legend, recording engineer, underground rock and roll hero. Not to mention hardcore, fierce, and sexy, MC2 Talk. Be good.